Hey everybody, this week we are going to start our training needs analysis. The needs analysis is the largest and longest assignment of the course, so let's get right into it. A needs analysis is conducted after you have determined that a specific knowledge or skill or attitude is lacking and is required to close your performance gap. So when you think back to your performance problem statement, you've worked very diligently through your 3 levels of analysis so far. You've defined the problem through your performance gap. You've attributed the problem to certain root causes in your root cause analysis, and you've made a series of recommendations in your front-end analysis. For any of those root causes related to knowledge or skills, or a lack of knowledge or skill, you would most likely recommend some sort of training or learning solution as your intervention to close that performance gap. And that's precisely when you come in and start your training needs analysis. It serves as a legacy piece for the development and delivery team so that they can go back into that really detailed level of analysis and extract from it the intent of the learning. In the event that that is not well communicated through design and development, it also just serves as a really good starting point and sounding board for your instructors, for your developers, for all of the people involved in making that learning intervention a reality. The training needs analysis document is a great legacy piece because it serves as a catalog of really granular level detail that's going to be required to support your detail-driven curriculum. So rather than just saying, oh yeah, we know we have a problem, people don't know how to submit their timesheets on time, what the TNA is going to do is have you dig into very, very specifically what it is they don't know how to do, where it is that they are having problems, the types of conflicts that present during the course of submitting a submitting a time and attendance sheet, and it's going to look at all of the very, very, very specific skills that you need to address through the learning intervention. So you will then address these skills in your design plan. They become the foundation of your learning objectives, and then they also are used, of course, and referenced as you move into development and delivery. Training needs analysis is only recommended when your root cause analysis points to a lack of knowledge and skill as a root cause of your performance problem. If that happens, your front-end analysis would almost always recommend a learning solution. This is the only time that a TNA is recommended. You can't fix issues related to physical structure with learning. So that would be things like adding more parking spaces, turning the light bulbs, buying higher wattage light bulbs, moving the desks to a different area of the office space. Those are things related to physical resources that you can't fix through learning. You can fix those through other types of interventions. Structure and process is typically also not something that you can fix through learning. If they need to change the org chart, if they need to start printing out phone lists for people, those are things that might be recommended solutions that point to specific root causes related to structure or process, but that don't require a learning solution and that cannot be fixed through learning. Wellness, motivation, also issues that you can't fix through learning. Access to information is also not a learning solution. Access to information would be things like building an intranet for your employees, assigning authorizations to share drives so people can pull information and share content. But those are not things, again, that learning is going to fix. Learning can really only fix a problem or a percentage of a problem if you found that there's a specific set of knowledge or skills that are lacking in order to achieve that future state of performance. So that's really important to remember, and it's quite frankly where most training programs go wrong. People assign or recommend a training or they mandate a learning solution to a performance problem that really has other indicators and that's really being caused by other influences. You do a training needs analysis to ensure that your recommended learning solution targets the critical knowledge and skills required to close your performance gap. So again, like we mentioned, if people are having trouble with filling out their timesheet, you need to know now what specifically those skills are. Is it they don't know how to add the rows? Is it that they don't know how to add time types? Is it that they fail to get the timesheet authorized? Is it that they don't know when the timesheets are due? There's any number of reasons that that might be failing, but you and your training needs analysis need to drill down into what specific sets of skills are lacking or missing so that you can design a learning intervention that targets those skills. That's a training needs analysis. It's a very long and intense process. I have a recommended strategy for you. You have 4 weeks of the course to do your training needs analysis, unless you're in a summer semester and then you have fewer weeks. Here's the way to start. Plan your training needs analysis by writing a simple research agenda. This can be a column format table, it can be an Excel spreadsheet, it can be scribbled on a notepad. But what you want to do is identify all of your inputs. What are the data that you want to collect? And then figure out from where you're going to find it. That will be your sources. And then determine the method you'll use to extract that data. So for example, if you want to see samples of timesheets that have been submitted, that's the data you want to get. You want to look at how people are calculating their time. You're going to find that possibly by doing a database search or an archive search of extant data, digging into historical records that show timesheets that have been submitted. And the method that you're going to use to extract that is probably just some very basic statistical analysis. But if you want to find out a different approach on that, you could actually form a focus group to ask people what problems they think they have while submitting a timesheet. This would be considered sort of consumer data. You would find that from actual employees. The employees would be your source, and the method you would use would be something like a focus group. You could also do a survey, you could do an interview, but there's all different types of methods available to you to help you extract data from multiple different sources and get at really, really specific inputs into your research agenda. I would like to see a minimum of 2 to 3 different methods. It'll give you a good variety and the chance to really explore with different types of data collection. Rely on your readings, take a look at the rubric, and look at the student samples. All 3 of those things combined should get you off to a very comprehensive start. I really caution you to be patient as you do this. For the most part, you're working with humans. It's not going to go perfectly. People are going to miss meetings. You'll be on delay. That's why you need to take the full time allowed throughout the semester to complete this assignment. Do your very best to be objective and not impose on the analysis your own feelings or your own observations. Listen to what people are telling you, read the data, and be sure that you are objectively interpreting it. And be diligent. Don't waste a minute of time on this analysis. It's a very big assignment. And it can be slow going, and it can be detail oriented, and it can be tedious, but it's a big part of finishing the semester. Know when to stop. There will come a point where you just have to call it a day and work with the analysis you've collected. There will be a time when you have to just stop collecting. And I recommend using your time wisely, preparing your report as you go. Elements of that report can be assembled each and every week. Don't wait until the last Sunday of the assignment to try to get it written and posted, because you'll find that there's a lot of different ways you want to present this information. You might want to include tables and charts and different types of graphics. And in order to do that well, to do any cross-tabulation, to link in between your pages in your wiki, you're going to need quite a bit of time. And the idea here is that you learn how to manage your time across the span of a project that takes this much effort. So good luck with that. I'll be touching base with you each week before the assignment is due, and I wish you well. Go ahead and get started.